No, says Kriya, quickly color rising to her face. I merely wanted to meet you. I've always wanted to. Kalak ignores Kriya as she keeps her attention on Drala. Did you know your child nearly suffered a fate worse than death? She and her reckless friend were nearly obliterated by Thog's godling. I assumed her to be some desperate two-copper wizard from Hell's Gate. Not. Drala, the all-seeing's daughter, says, what? What is happening here? So yes, Kalak is telling Drala that she almost died to God's Thogling. Drala, the all-seeing's daughter, says Drala, cutting her off. I do not care for the judgment I hear in your voice, Kalak. To coddle my child will only lead her to weakness. As for keeping her identity a secret, well, you can hardly blame me for that. It would not be the first time someone has tried to use my daughter as leverage against me. Yeah, Inuxis did that. Drala points at Kriya. Tell Kalak how you know the Godslayer in the city. Kriya takes a deep breath as though to compose herself. She bows her head to Kalak. I obtained a holy symbol of Aletheia, yet it was no ordinary amulet, but in fact a powerful artifact. Obtained it? How? You blurt out, blood rising to your face. All of them turn to you, and suddenly you feel very exposed. Apologies, just seemed like an appropriate question. You stammer under the intense golden eyes of the dragon. Kalak motions at you to shut your mouth. What sort of art? Yeah, they don't care how she trained it. What sort of artifact? Says Kalak, returning her attention to Kriya. This is going to be very good, says Kriya, excitement in her voice. The amulet is possessed by the daughter of Aletheia. Who the fuck is daughter of Aletheia? Says Kriya, a godling who calls herself Egrala. Really? Oh, holy shit, I would have laughed at that point. That sounds fucking hilarious. Egrala, really? Oh, she actually tricked her into believing that his daughter of fucking Aletheia. Egrala laughs. What sort of game are you playing? You said to Kriya, and Egrala is not a very creative name, I might add. Kalak's mouth drops open. Gods. Yes, the Galathians were desperate, searching for one of their holy symbols. Must be. Her sentence trails off. Although as interesting as this is, I do not see the connection to Nuxius. Egrala told me the Nuxius is in Ring City, says Kriya, raising her chin to meet Kalak's eyes. He told me many things. You trust me, really? Egrala laughs so hard in your mind that you find it difficult to concentrate on what's said next. Something about Nuxius being the key to the assault on Ring City and the unrest of gods. We have all heard that Nuxius somehow destroyed the goddess Nerul, says Drala. It is said that the gods now vie to have one of their own take Nerul's place among the gods. Nuxius might be infused with power from Nerul, particularly if he crushed her soul. And if he soul crushed her. Right. How did I forget that? Holy shit. Like, I remembered that he killed Nerul, but I completely forgot about the fact that he would actually gain her power, considering he soul crushed her. Because whenever you soul crush someone, right, you get like their power, some part of their power. And I remember like doing like average level demon, and it gave me like 60 mana or some shit. So yeah, 60 mana. Was it 60 mana? 30 or 60, something like that. And Nerul was like a god, like almost a god. Like she was a god, but she was a little bit weaker than other gods, I believe. But yeah, she was fucking strong, and we soul crushed her. Holy shit, he must be strong at this point. Nuxius might be infused with power from Nerul, particularly if he soul crushed her, says Kalak. Mortal crushing the soul of a god would be an affront to the order of the universe, says Goldtreat, his eyes flashing. More to the point, it's impossible. Just because there's no record of mortal doing this in our histories does not mean it's impossible. Indeed, there is no record of a mortal being present during the death of a god at all, says Drala. Because the death of a god would obliterate all mortals nearby, says Goldtreat. This myth of Nuxius being a godslayer is just that, a myth. No, he did kill her, but for some reason he didn't actually die. If that's true, that whenever god dies, all mortals nearby will die as well, then she definitely, I mean, Nuxius would have died. Maybe that's a rumor that he heard from somewhere. He cannot obviously confirm that what happens when a god dies or whatever. So whatever. The dragon man turns to Kriya, and Kriya gulps as she meets his gaze. How do you know that this Egrala is what she claims to be? I ran tests, of course, says Drala, not allowing Kriya to answer. You all know of my distrust of the gods. There is great divine power in that artifact, power enough to be a godling, and the lines of power do seem to lead back to Aletheia. Test, echoes Egras mockingly in your mind. There is no test, I cannot cheat. There is this artifact, says Kalak. This is not gonna end well. I have it secured elsewhere, says Drala. As I said, I do not trust the gods. Nor should she, says Egra. Yet despite her wisdom, she will still play the fool. If only she knew that was under your tunic, champion. I'm happy keeping it a secret, you say. Holy shit, how does he hold back his laughter at sometimes? Kriya clears her voice and straightens up. Every time she says Egra, I fucking chuckle a little bit. There's so much fucking saliva in my mouth. I can hear it appear. Egrola told me the godlings of many of the major gods are here on the material plane, battling out in Ring City for supremacy and to take Nerul's throne. Egrola wishes to join the battle now that it has begun. As you would expect from the child of Aletheia, says Druala, shaking her head. More heart than sense with those Alethians. Then why don't this Egrola join the battle with all her power, says Kalak. Most godlings work through a champion, not on their own, Kriya says, her voice quavering less now. As I wore the pendant, so I was her champion. And now the pendant is locked away, says Druala, until I decide what to do with it. Everyone is silent until Goldfried finally speaks up. If this godling truly is the daughter of Aletheia, then we shall need her in battle to come. Like Druala, I do not trust the gods, yet if I was to put my trust in one of their number, Aletheia would be my first choice. Well, it is the trickster godling, so deal with that how you will. Kriya raises her voice, more confident now, and know this also. Egrola told me the Nuxius is the key to ascension. The godling that finds the Nuxius shall take the seat of Nerul. How, says Kalak, crush a Nuxius' soul? That does not sound like something a child of Aletheia would do. Egrola did not say indeed. I do not think she knows, says Kriya. Perhaps we will find out when we find a Nuxius. The important thing is to prevent another from finding a Nuxius, the god slayer first, says Druala. You know of Thog's infection of the city, but there are other evil forces battling there. My eyes within the city have shown me many disturbing things. Kriya, Sudre, or whatever you go by, where is the Nuxius in Ring City? Asks Kalak. Kriya looks down to the floor. Egrola does not know. Kalak puts her hands to her hips. It is a large city. Kalak's voice is skeptical and her eyes are very hard as she stares at Kriya, measuring her. Why would you say... What is wrong with this guy? Oh, Nuxius in the Temple of Eternal Love, you say casually. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Who are you showing off to? Are you fucking serious? Now I want to kill fucking... If there's an... Like, I really want to fucking... Is there a commit suicide option or something? Wizard's Choice, despite the lack of, like, all this depth, was such a good game. But like there's all this fucking BDSM childish bullshit that a fucking character goes through is like it is fucking like it hurts. It fucking hurts. Like at first it was kind of cringe and just like whatever, but it fucking hurts how fucking stupid our guy is sometimes. It's ridiculous. Like you know it because you found out, so you could tell them. First of all, why would you tell them? Second of all, you are as Lestral right now. And if you like tell them where Nuxius is, they're gonna be like, how do you know? So, man. Kalak puts her, Oh, Nuxius in the Temple of Eternal Love, you say casually. Everyone turns to stare at you, and you're a bold one to mix into this, says Egra. They're unsure why you felt the need to tell them. Yeah, why was there a need to tell them? What you learned from House Rooster here. Maybe it was to show up Egra, to show up Kriya, or show off, says Egra, evidently reading your deeper thoughts. Or show off. Show up, show off, really. How do you know this, Lestral? Says Kalak, taking a step towards you. Her dark eyes set on you intently. What do you say? House Rooster here. I'm just gonna say it because there's no other way to dodge this bullet. You never had luck lying to wizards, and you got 3 of them watching you. House Rooster here, you say. Kriya's mouth drops open, then she looks nervously over to Goldtriad, who is now glaring at you with naked anger. Kalak's expression is neutral as she steps towards you, although her eyes are watchful and perhaps dangerous. I think you should elaborate, my apprentice. Oh, she knows. Why is my apprentice in Italian? You stammer under the stony expression of the dragon, gold dragon. Why? What does he put himself in this situation? He's a fucking idiot. You stammer under the best course of action in this situation would have been literally to just fucking run out of the castle and then figure out how to deal with the godlings or Drala or whatever the fuck. Because this is death straight up. Like, then again, Drala would find out where you are eventually, but still, they wouldn't know who took the fucking amulet, because no one actually even now knows where the amulet has gone. They still think it's back there wherever it was, at the statue or whatever. You stammer under the stony expression of the gold dragon and the hard scrutiny of the witches. Finally, you muster your courage and say, Mistress, I know you wanted to find Nuxus desperately. I wanted to find him too, so I reached out to the agents of the house, and I'm not proud of this. It was for my sister? Wait. Oh, right. He's not talking about Rooster's sister, the girl that died, that Anuxius killed in the first game. Kalak's eyes softened. Yes, although Estrel was a beloved apprentice, more than that, she was your family. In your mind, you had meant your actual sister. After all, she is most of the reason you went to Rudy here to begin with. But naturally, Kalak thinks you are referring to Lestrel's sister. You know, remember someone talking about how Lestrel's sister had come to some unfortunate end thanks to Anuxius. Yeah, that did happen. I mean, it was unfortunate. We were just trying to talk to her, but she kind of came at us. You know, vigorously. He must pay for what he did. I know I would not have involved those ruse scums, yet there is a vast network. I knew you had too much honor to contact them yourself. Goldshire expression appears less than forgiving still, yet at least now you're not afraid he will transform and swallow you whole. You continue. Rudy here, agents have reports of Anuxius being spotted near the Temple of Eternal Love. Why am I only hearing of this now? Asked Calax, frowning, her suspicion again creeping into her eyes. What do you say? I found out only since we last spoke. No, that would not work, because we came here with her. I was not certain it was true. Remember how Bonebrow had been uncertain of rumors about Anuxius? I was not certain it was true, you say. Now the Anuxius is so famous, perhaps people are mistaking others for him. I was not sure if Rue's spies are reliable. Sounds certain when you said it, says Kalag. It aligned with what Kriya Sudre said, which made me more certain, you say. Kalak frowns, perhaps still sensing that there is something not quite right with you, but finally she nods. We shall speak of this later, Lestrel. As my apprentice, you're not to make contact with the house or any other dangerous entity without my permission. How dangerous is House Ruda here? That even Kalak is like, do not fucking approach the fucking house or dangerous entities without my permission. You bow. Of course, my apologies. Could it be so obvious? Asked Drala. It is known that Anuxius and Nerissa resided in the Temple of Eternal Love for some time. Was that? When did we do that? Oh, right, when we fought that major dude, the fucking army guy, I think. Yeah, I think. For some time. He would not be so stupid, says Goldtriad, his rich voice now with a hard edge. Anuxius must know he is hunted. He would not simply return home. That unholy temple was one of the first places I searched for him, says Kalak, shaking her head. I searched above and below in the catacombs. I raised powerful walls that would have tripped if the wizard returned. I have friends within those walls, says Rala. She shuts all her eyes at once for the barest of moments, as though performing a massive wink. Actually not, she says with a surprised tone. I would have expected I sent more than one friend back to their home in this temple, and not even a spider is left. Dead, says Kriya. Likely, answers Drala, her voice annoyed, vaguely annoyed. Although I wish to make haste to join the battle, it would be wise to know more before we act. We should scry on the wizard, says Kalak. Well, what do we even have that would allow us to scry on him? I hope to with your friend. I hope to with your help, old friend, says Drala. Up to now, that wizard has thwarted my attempts at significant cost to me. Yes, together we might, says Kalak, and now we know Godslayer's location, which should help. You trust this judgment of your insolent apprentice, says Drala. If you commit to the Temple of Eternal Love, it is not so, then it will be taxing. Lester would not risk his reputation lightly, says Kalak. No, I wouldn't, you say, eyeing Kriya. My reputation is very impressive. Kriya crosses her arm at you, her lips pressing tight together into a thin line. He literally is doing all this just to fucking piss off Kriya, which I do appreciate. But holy shit, are you fucking dumb? Egro laughs in your mind. Regardless of what body you inhibit, champion, you always manage to antagonize the woman. Oh, says Drala. Insolent and arrogant too, she chuckles, the sound echoing around you. Well, I would like to see your skill then. Oh boy. No. Our boy cannot perform magic. This is not going to end well, and I don't think Egra can teleport, so this is not gonna end well at all. But okay. Oh, because I said my reputation is fucking impressive. That's the thing that triggered her to ask, like, to help us with the fucking skills. Drala snaps her fingers immediately. The floor opens between you and Drala. A pair of massive feminine stone hands rise up, clutching a black crystal ball. The ball, what must be a scrying stone, is far larger than anything you saw in Lair of Ruda here. This one is as wide as tall as a man. Go ahead, apprentice of Kalak, mere the preparations for the scry, says Dwala, nodding towards the spear, which now pulses rhythmically, making the fine elven hair on your hand stand on end. The jab labor, says Kalak, wrinkling her brow. What the fuck is that? Yes, says Krala. Let the apprentice approach my stone and show us what sort of wizard he is. If he is correct about the location of our target, he may live. Oh boy.